We're heading into eclipse season this month, which activates endings and new beginnings on an intense and magnified level. And we have several planets shifting into different signs of the zodiac as well. All of this and more on my new Intuitive Astrology Empowered Moments video for October 2023. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma from Sacred Soul Empowerment here with my new Empowered Moments video. So let's go ahead and dig into the month of October and let's take a little bit of a look as to what's going on. This month we're going to look at the numerology vibration for the month, astrological transits of significance, look at a message for the collective, and then also show you a special message card based on your stone of choice. Before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and do an empowered moment. So let's get comfortable. Close your eyes, relax your body, clear your mind of all thoughts. Take a deep breath and just ground yourself into this present moment, this time and place. Visualize, sense, see, feel, or just know that you're surrounded in beautiful golden white light. This is the golden white light of God's source, energy, universe, great spirit, all that is. I want you to take a deep breath and imagine, hold the intention that you're breathing in this magnificent golden white light into every cell of your body. And as you exhale, you're letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. And this is going to be a perfect month to let go of what no longer is needed to hold on to, because we're moving into eclipse season where we have a new moon solar eclipse and a full moon lunar eclipse. These eclipses are going to herald new beginnings and endings and new beginnings in different areas of your life that are not in alignment with your truth, not in alignment with who you are, where you're going, what your next step is. And sometimes the ego wants to hold on to what is comfortable and familiar, but that's not where our soul wants to be or where our soul wants to go. So in this moment, in this empowered moment, I want you to connect to your higher soul self. See, feel, sense, or just know that you're connecting with the highest aspect of your soul. Your higher self is that part of you that has been with you throughout all incarnations, that part of you that knows what's best for you on your path of evolution and growth. So breathe that intention in that you're connecting with your higher soul self, with your highest truth, with your highest vision. And call in silently your angels and guides, archangels, ascended masters, ancestors of the light, and ask them to assist in guiding you towards your highest truth. Ask them to assist you in guiding you to the highest aspect of your soul's path, your destiny. Ask that if there is any endings or releasing or letting go that needs to be done, that will be done in an easy and gentle way. And ask that new beginnings show themselves quickly and efficiently with guidance on how to move into those new beginnings. And again, ask your higher soul self, who always has your best interest at heart, to assist on this journey through the month of October and beyond, with whatever endings and new beginnings are taking place. Let's take another deep breath, breathing in that intention and exhaling, letting go, relaxing, trusting. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and return to this time and place. Okay, so for this month, we're going to be using the Syrian Starseed Tarot by Alyssa Bartha and Patricia Corey for the main message for everyone. Your special message card this month is going to be coming from the Heal Yourself reading cards. And this is by Ina Segal. We haven't used this deck for a long while, actually, but I thought this is going to be a good deck, Heal Yourself, because it really pertains to the energy of these eclipses that we have this month. So let's go ahead and take a look at your stones of choice so that you know what your message card is going to be a little bit later on. So our first stone of choice, this is Celestite. This is a Celestite cluster. And I want you to just really tune in because this is going to be a month of needing to trust yourself, to find trust in yourself and your intuitive guidance, your inner intuitive guidance. So I want you to use your intuition to pick the stone of choice. I'll tell you just a little bit about it. This one is going to relate to the throat chakra and the ear chakras so that you speak your divine truth, but of course we have to listen first, right? And listening will get that message clairaudiently and then be able to speak our truth with unconditional love and compassion. Okay, stone number 2, this is a beautiful carnelian heart. And if you notice, carnelian's usually some shade of orange, but this one has some dark like you could either call it dark orange, but I'm going to call it like red. So since the celestite related to the throat and ear chakras, I'm going to relate the carnelian to our sacral chakra, but also our root chakra. Now this is a stone of passion and goddess energies. To me, it's a very divine feminine sort of energy relating to that sacral chakra. And the root chakra too is going to be matters of security, feeling safe and secure and stable in your life. And then stone number 3, this one it's a raw piece of azurite, but it's a special one because it's got little flecks of green in it. So it's not just the blue azurite, but it's the green malachite within the azurite. So this one's going to relate to the heart chakra, the green, and the third eye chakra, the azurite part. So this is unconditional love and healing of relationships or healing of your emotions. Of course, the third eye is tuning in with clarity to your vision, to where it is that you want to go as you move forward in life. So again, our stones of choice, beautiful celestite. This is got an angelic quality to it. We've got the deeply passionate carnelian, or we have the wonderfully spiritual azurite with malachite. Okay, so as you think about that, let's go ahead and talk about well, I was going to say the astrology, but first we have to talk about the numerology, right? So October of 2023, we take the universal year vibration for 2023, which is a 7. 7s are all about having faith and trust as you move forward, because not all the puzzle pieces are quite in place for this year. So there's like missing information or a need to just really go within and have patience and reflect on what's going on to try to bring healing to the inner self and connection with your higher soul self as well. Now that's the yearly vibration. So we take that and we add it to the month of October, which is the 10th month of the year, and we get a 17. Now we're going to reduce that down to a single digit first. and then we're going to look at the 17 in a minute. But if we reduce that 17 down, it's an 8 vibration. So the number 8, this is all about empowerment. Yes, on a third dimensional earthly level, we are looking at matters of career, life path, life purpose, destiny path. We're also looking at money and finances and personal resources. We're looking at our own leadership ability, take charge ability, and finding our sense of inner authority. But on that spiritual level, that number 8, which when you turn it on its side becomes the infinity symbol, right? So we're talking about balance of the masculine and the feminine. And we're talking about empowerment, taking back your power and owning your power. So it's a very strong number, and it might deal with any and all of those things throughout this month. But I want to look at the number 17 too. Now, the 17 is not a master number, it's not a karmic number, but it does relate to a tarot card. And I love, love, love this tarot card because Major Arcana 17 is the star card. So this month of October is also relating to the energy of the star card, which traditionally is about focusing on your hopes and dreams and wishes for the future. Where do you want to go on that next step towards what we might call the quote unquote future? And this comes after the month of September when we had the Tower card vibration. Last month in September, it was the number 16 universal month vibration. And the 16 is a karmic number. And the 16 relates to the Tower card in the traditional tarot. So what did you have as a Tower card moment? It could have been something external. It could have been a situation or circumstance that had some sort of big shift or changes happening. Or it could have been something more internal where you were really shifting your perceptions or belief systems about yourself, about your life, about your path forward. And it definitely could have been both. It could have been both an internal and external experience that you were having. But now what comes after the lightning bolt Tower card moment is the star card, where we're focused on, okay, we just had that Tower card shift, change, redirection, whatever was happening for us. Now we're looking at moving forward. And here we have in this particular rendition in the Syrian Starseed Tarot, this person that's on kind of like a makeshift boat. This is an Egyptian figure, right? But they're kind of like moving forward, but they're moving forward through the cosmos, through the universe. So you could say that we're on a soul journey, and our soul is moving forward in evolution and growth to the next step on our path. Now, if you are floating up in the heavens, you do have to have some faith and trust, right? Because you might not be able to see tangibly what the next step is. This is like wide open space, the wide open universe where anything is possible and anything can happen. So in the realm of possibilities, we have to have trust and faith that we're being led in the right direction, that we're traveling in the right direction towards whatever that next step is. And again, focus on your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. The stars, the universe, the heavens. This figure is holding an ankh. There's a star above it. So again, it's like wish upon a star. What do you wish for? What do you desire? And then let's trust and have faith that the universe is going to guide us to that next step. Now, we do have responsibility, free will choice, where we might need to make decisions as to which way we're going to steer our boat, basically, and what direction we're going to go in. But again, trust and faith is a big key here. That number 7 universal year that we're in, and this is a 17 month, and there's a 7 within that 17. So trust and faith as we own our power, take our power back, and empower ourselves with that reduced vibration of the 8. So let's go ahead and take a look at the astrology of significance this month. So the first thing that happens, that is significant, I should say, is going to be on October 4th. October 4th, we have Mercury, the messenger, the planet that rules thoughts, ideas, perceptions, communications, moving into Libra. So it's leaving Virgo, where it had its retrograde motion a while back, Now it's going to move into Libra, and it will stay there only until the 20th of October, where it's going to make another sign shift here in a little bit later in the month. But while Mercury is in Libra, it's all about communication and various types of relationships. It's about equality, balance, compromise. So all of these things that Libra, the scales, rule, which again, first and foremost, we think of partnerships and relationships. So there's going to need to be a lot of communication. And it doesn't just mean with romantic relationships. This can be with friends. This can be with your work associates. This is definitely a great sign for collaboration and working with somebody in all fairness equally to move forward with both of our goals and visions, basically. So collaboration is a great thing to do. It's a lot of one-on-one communication. Libra likes to deal with one-on-one communication more than anything else. Doesn't mean you can't talk in groups or go to a group or attend a class or anything like that. But it's really great for that one-on-one interaction. Now, as I said, we might as well just stick with Mercury for a minute. A little bit later in the month, it's on the 21st. It's going to be moving into Scorpio until November 10th. So Mercury in Scorpio is going to dive down deeper with its thoughts. It's going to dive down deeper into its nuances of communication. What I mean by that, it's going to be a lot more intuitively perceptive with what's not being said, with the underlying energy current of what is being said. And it's just going to heighten your psychic abilities, especially clairsentience, where you're feeling the energies, you're feeling the emotions of people. Again, feeling what may not be being said. So and it's also a sign of empowerment, Scorpio, right? We're going to end up moving later in the month into Scorpio energies with the sun moving in Scorpio too. So it's all going to be about owning your power. All right, so let's go back to the 8th of October. On the 8th of October, Venus is actually changing signs. Now, Venus has been in Leo for an extra long time because she went retrograde in that sign of Leo. And if you watch my previous videos, you know that Venus in Leo and then retrograde in Leo is all about finding your own sense of self-worth, about valuing yourself. And this is about the divine feminine on a collective level too, because Venus is the ruler of the divine feminine archetype. So she needed to be appreciated. She needed to be recognized for who she was. And if she wasn't feeling appreciated and recognized while she was in retrograde motion, she was needing to find that within herself and for herself. Now she's learned whatever she needed to learn as far as appreciating herself and whether others were appreciating her for her gifts as well. And now she's going to be moving into Virgo. So she'll be in Virgo until November 8th. So for 1 month exactly, actually, October 8th till November 8th. And Venus in Virgo, she's going to be a little bit more picky about who she hangs around. And she's going to be a little bit, maybe even more critical in relationship matters, just pointing out where there might be a lack of fairness, because she does rule Libra as a ruling sign, and Libra is all about fairness and equality. But while she's in Virgo, she just might be a little bit more nitpicky and critical, and that could be towards herself too. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because we just did all that work with Venus retrograde in Leo to find our own sense of appreciation and self-worth. And now going into Virgo, I'm going to say this is where she makes a plan or creates a strategy for how she's going to move forward in making sure that other people respect her and recognize her for her gifts and appreciate them. Okay, then we go to the 10th of October. A lot of things going on here as far as shifts and changes in the first half of the month. On the 10th of October, Pluto, planet of death and rebirth, power and control, transformation and regeneration, is shifting back to direct motion at 27 degrees of Capricorn. Now, Pluto moves very, very slowly, so it's been retrograde for a really long time, several months. But when Pluto shifts directions, either going from direct to retrograde motion, or in this case from retrograde motion back to direct motion, it amplifies and magnifies what he's all about. And like I said, Pluto brings death and rebirth energies, and we're about to go into the second half of October where we have the eclipses, which is also bringing endings and new beginnings. So the fact that Pluto goes direct on the 10th, we're going to feel probably for a week before and a few days after this magnification of this powerful transformative energy in our lives. Now, this could be about power and control issues with other people, where the universe is giving us an opportunity to take back our power or own our power correctly, to not let other people usurp or take our power or disempower us. Pluto also, again, could bring huge shifts and changes. Again, that death and rebirth sort of energy where, something is, let's say, destroyed, pummeled to the ground, and then we rise from the ashes born anew, like the phoenix. To me, I always think of the phoenix when I think of Pluto. So with Pluto turning direct, let's all have the intention that we're going to rise like the phoenix from the ashes of the past few weeks or months of whatever was going on for us, and we're going to take our power back and own our power. And then on the 11th of October, we have Mars, the warrior, planet of energy, action, forward movement. And he's going to be leaving Libra, which is not his best sign because Mars is all about that warrior, self, independence, me, myself, and I, reaction kind of energy. In Libra, it had to learn to balance in partnerships. It was funneling its energy through partnerships, and for the first 11 days of this month of October, it's funneling its energy into partnerships. But it's not the best place for Mars because Libra is all about the other person, and Mars usually is about himself and his own desires, what he wants. It doesn't mean that it's all bad or that Mars is all bad, but Mars energy focuses on what do I need, what do I want, what do I value, what do I need to pursue, and in Libra, it was having to, again, balance in the relationships with other people, which again is not a bad thing. Now on the 11th, it's moving into Scorpio. So this is one of Mars's ruling signs. Now in modern astrology, Mars rules Aries, the first sign of the zodiac. And Aries, again, me, myself, and I. But in ancient astrology, before Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto were discovered, Mars ruled Scorpio as well. We now know Pluto to be the modern ruler of Scorpio, but Mars is the ancient ruler of Scorpio. So he's going to be pretty at home here. He's going to become a lot more intense, a lot more driven. When we think about Scorpio energy, it's very deep and intense and fixed. Can have that kind of stubborn quality to it. So this is going to be there, I should say Mars is going to be in Scorpio until November 24th of this year. Now, what I think is interesting is that the day before, on the 10th, we talked about Pluto turning to direct motion, and Pluto's the modern ruler of Scorpio. And then the next day on the 11th, we have Mars, the ancient ruler of Scorpio, moving into Scorpio. So that Scorpio energy is definitely highlighted. Again, it's about power and control on the negative side. On the positive side, it's about transformation, regeneration, and empowerment. So all of these things, and transmuting old energies too. Scorpio's a great transmuter of energies that are no longer beneficial for us, no longer fulfilling for us, what we need to, release and let go, basically, and heal. Okay, let's go to the 14th. Now we're getting into the middle of the month and when the eclipses are starting. On the 14th of October, we have a new moon solar eclipse at 21 degrees of Libra. So new moons bring new beginnings, but the eclipse magnifies that new beginning. So here we're going to have, before the full moon lunar eclipse, which brings in endings, first we're going to have the new moon solar eclipse bringing in new beginnings. Now, like I said, with Pluto going direct, Mars going into Scorpio, I feel like we're already going to have some previous shifts going on just before this new moon solar eclipse. But it's in the sign of relationships, partnerships, equality, fairness, justice, balance. So where things are unjust, where things are out of balance, where things seem to be unfair or not equal, well, this new moon solar eclipse is going to highlight all of that, and it's going to ask us to initiate a new beginning to bring them back into balance, to bring things back into a sense of fairness and justice. Okay, then we're going to skip to the 21st of October, and we already mentioned this, but Mercury, that's when Mercury moves into Scorpio as well. And then on the 23rd, we have the Sun moving into Scorpio. So now we've got Mars in Scorpio, Mercury in Scorpio, and the Sun in Scorpio by the 23rd. So we've got some heavy-duty, transformative Scorpio energies happening. Then to end the month out on the 29th, that's when we have a full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of 5 degrees of Taurus. Now that means the Sun is in Scorpio at 5 degrees, but the moon is in Taurus, the opposite sign, at 5 degrees. So that's what happens during a full moon, right? We've got the Sun and the moon opposite from one another. So we call it a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus. Now, Taurus is a money sign. Scorpio also is a money sign. They're both about resources, whether it's your resources, personal resources, or other people's resources. So this full moon lunar eclipse, which, by the way, full moon, completion, endings, releasing, letting go, and again, magnified because it's an eclipse, might bring up situations and circumstances that have to do with money matters or financial matters, or as well, how we value ourselves, because Taurus is about self-value. It's about what we value, but it's also about how we value ourselves. One last thing that's interesting about these two eclipses is that the new moon solar eclipse in Libra is ruled by Venus. The full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is ruled by Venus as well. So we have Venus ruling both of these eclipses. And it's interesting that she just came out of that retrograde period of time in Leo, trying to find her own sense of self-appreciation and self-value. But now she's in Virgo, where again, she's going to really kind of be picky and read between the lines and see between people's actions and really scrutinize. I guess that's a good word. She's going to be more scrutinizing certain energies and actions. She's going to use a little bit more discernment in who she's going to hang out with or what she's going to be involved in. And she rules both of these eclipses, which rule partnerships and finances. So that's a little bit about the astrology of the month. Let's go ahead and take a look at our message from our angels and guides. So we got the first card, and the first card came out as 2 cards. So for those of you that have watched me before, I like to pull 3 cards, but sometimes more come out. The first card is the Ace of Flames. I love this card. Aces are about new beginnings, and flames is fire or wands. And so this is a new beginning on a spiritual level. There's something being illuminated here with this fire, this flame, and it's being illuminated as far as our spiritual path forward, because that's what the flames rule, is the spiritual realm. So this may really start to kick in when we have the new moon solar eclipse, since new moons are about new beginnings and the ace is about a new beginning. So there's something new that's being activated here. Let's say activate your fire, activate your passion, activate your vitality and energy, activate the new project, activate the new goal. Start something new is what this is saying. And whatever it is that you start new, at least so far, without looking at the other cards, it's going to be beneficial for you. Again, highlight and illuminate the way. Activate that inner fire of the phoenix as far as moving forward. Now let's see what card came out with this card. Okay, interesting, because it's the 2 of Flames. So we've got the Ace of Flames and then the 2 of Flames right after it. So this is like the Two of Wands. Now, if you look at this one, it's got a pair of eyes here in the universe. It feels like it's, to me, feminine energy. And two wands. Now, the two wands could be two potential paths that we could take, or a need to make a decision between two choices. So here we've got first the activation of something new, but then we have to make this decision and choice as to which path we're going to go down, or what thing we're going to initiate, basically. And the universe, the divine feminine, the goddess even, because to me, again, that feels very feminine as far as looking at those eyes in the universe. The divine feminine is going to assist us with providing messages of direction. At the very least, providing support as we try to make our decision. The two also is about balance in numerology, right? If you got two people, or you got, I always think of a teeter-totter, or even the scales of justice, right? It's all about balance. It's all about equality. It's all about fairness. So maybe in making this decision or this choice, we're going for what is going to bring my life back into balance, what is going to bring maybe my physical well-being back into balance, what is going to bring equality and justice into my life in the best way. So this may definitely have something to do with relationships, because when you have two people, you have some sort of a relationship. So here we have relationship on a spiritual level. And if it is about a relationship, is the relationship based on spiritual principles and integrity and equality and mutual love and understanding and support? And that might help you to make the decision, if there is a decision to make here, about which direction or which direction to go or what path to follow. So again, tune into that divine feminine energy, that Venus energy, right? Venus is the divine feminine. She's going into Virgo on the 8th of October. So she's going to be using a little bit more discernment and really dissecting things to understand all the ins and outs before she makes her choice or makes her decision. The next card, let's see what the second, or what officially is the second card. Okay, interesting, because it's Major Arcana 2. So we have that another 2 kind of vibration going on. And it's Major Arcana Higher Self. Now in the traditional tarot, this is the Priestess card. So again, we have this divine feminine energy with the Priestess. But I always think of the Priestess as also being pretty balanced with her divine masculine, because I always think of the Priestess as powerful and magical. So here we have a full moon in the background as well. So whatever's going on, you're going to have more of an idea of, or embody more of the energy of, by the time we get to the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus at the end of the month. So again, owning your power, using your magic, using your divination abilities. The Priestess is usually scrying and divining messages, basically. And here we do, this Priestess, the higher self, as it were, is standing in the water, which does stand for our emotions, but it also stands for our psychic abilities and our intuitions and our healing abilities as well. The Priestess here is holding a book. This can be likened to the Akashic Records, and I would most certainly say it probably is, especially since the card itself is called Higher Self, because our higher self, our higher soul self, as we did in the previous meditation before, in the beginning of the video, is really in touch with and in tune with our own set of Akashic Records, our own spiritual story, not just this lifetime, but of all lifetimes and incarnations throughout all directions and dimensions of time and space. So here we have the Priestess tuning into her Akashic Records and magnifying her intuitive and psychic abilities and owning her power, the power of the full moon, which is magnifying everything, in order to, again, bring about this balance in her life, that number 2. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the last card. Oh, another ace, you guys. This is the Ace of Crystals. It's like the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Earth. So again, new beginnings. I love how the first card is the Ace of Fire or Wands, and the last card is the Ace of Crystals or Pentacles. So lots of new beginnings here with some choices and decisions and owning your power sandwiched in between. So again, we're initiating something. Now this one is initiating something more tangible. With this one, we're initiating a spiritual energy, a new spiritual vision, a new way of being spiritually. We're initiating our creative processes or our passion. You know, it's all about that energy. With this one, by the end, we're initiating the next tangible step. This could be in a career, in job, in money, in finances, with our goals, in a relationship, in our housing situation. It's anything that's tangible here with the suit of crystals. And I love that it's got the big quartz crystal here in the background, kind of stuck into the side of a rock or a mountain or hill or something. So here we might have some things to traverse, right? If we're going to climb up this rocky knoll here, we're going to have to exert a little bit of effort. We're going to have to have a little bit of patience because we're actually going to have to be moving through maybe some earthly challenges, but we're going to have clarity. By the end of the month, it seems we're going to have some crystal clarity on what needs to be done or how we're going to get up the mountain and over the hill or whatever it is about. How we take the next step basically is going to become crystal clear. So this is a great message actually overall for the month of October. Let's go ahead and take a look at your special message card depending on your stone of choice. So that first stone of choice was the celestite. So we're going to give this a little bit of a shuffle here. Special message for October for celestite. The bottom card was going to fall, so I'm going to pick that one. Now, it does say victim consciousness, okay? And this isn't to, what do I want to say? It's not to be negative towards you. It's not to, say shame on you or anything like that. But it is saying that maybe we have some belief systems or a mindset or certain perceptions that hold us back from our own personal power. That's a great way to say it because, again, it's involving Pluto turning to direct motion and Mars moving into Scorpio, right? We have to move away from what's called the victim consciousness or feeling like I can't do this or I can't make the change or I'm, fearful or afraid. Now, it's okay to be fearful and afraid. It's okay to have those emotions. But we need to move beyond feeling like we can't do something because our souls are infinite and we're divinely guided and protected. And we can do anything if we put our minds to it. What we have to do is move out of a glass half empty mentality into a glass half full mentality and know that we can do it. Know that we are empowered and we are powerful and we are magical and we are gifted and we have talents that we need to express out into the world. I feel like there's some sort of message here that's coming in regards to this whole idea. The birds are often messengers, so listen to conversations from your friends or a life coach, an authority figure. Listen to messages in songs on the radio or in conversations you overhear or in things that you read. Maybe you're looking at somebody's website to get ideas about your own and, some sort of message pops out at you. So the messages could come in various ways, shapes, and forms, but there's information that's coming to you that's going to allow you to move out of this energy and into a more empowered, take charge, I'm the creator and director of my own destiny path energy. That's where we want to go. And I look at the dress that she's in, right? It's got, kind of like showing the navel here. The navel area is that solar plexus chakra, which is about personal power and confidence and courage to take the next step. but also she looks quite, we'll just say, seductive. So I want to say, get into your goddess energy, get into that sacral chakra, passionate, creative, flowing, goddess sort of energy, which is attracting not just people, but it's attracting abundance, it's attracting prosperity, it's attracting blessings, it's attracting information, messages, guidance, etc. When you're in kind of your goddess energy, you're more magnetic. So we want to magnetize the information, the people, the circumstances that we need in order to move on the next step of our empowered path and to move away from any kind of victim consciousness. Okay, we'll put that back in the deck. Hopefully nobody else gets it. And the next stone is the carnelian. Okay, let's give a little shuffle here. So for the carnelian people, special message for the month of October for carnelian. This one's kind of peeking up and out. We got the inner child for this one. So you folks, the carnelian, you need to work on your inner child, and what better stone, because the carnelian does rule that sacral chakra, and this is our, our emotions and sensitivities, and, this is where our ability to basically get pregnant with child is. But we're working now on our inner child who might have become overly sensitive because of all the situations and circumstances that she's been through, the challenges, the traumas. And the inner child needs love, right? So don't ignore the inner child. Connect with your inner child. Connect with the little one within yourself who's maybe afraid or fearful or depressed or anxious or unsure or insecure. When I was taking the Akashic Records course, we did a lot of uncensored journaling, and a great deal of that uncensored journaling was with our inner child, to bring healing to the inner child and love to the inner child. The inner child wants to be appreciated, loved, and recognized, because a lot of times in her younger life, her growing up years, if it were, she was not paid attention to seriously. She was ignored, maybe. She was maybe abused, So there was a lot of things that might have happened that caused traumas and insecurities for the inner child. So maybe you want to try some uncensored journaling where you can put, you can put me, and then you're asking your inner child a question, and then you can put I see for inner child and have her answer you, and just kind of write and see what comes out. Or you can do a meditation and visualize you, your adult self, go into your little child self, your inner child, and seeing how she is, giving her a hug if she needs a hug, holding her hand, going on an adventure or on a journey. And that can be in meditation, but also don't discount that it can be in real waking life. Like you can get up one morning and say to your inner child, what would you like to do today? And maybe you'll hear your inner child say, I want to go to the park and have some fun. And you'll say, well, I have some work to do. But your inner child will be like, please, 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 let's go to the park and have some fun. So pay attention to the inner child needs and give her what she needs and wants. Take her out for ice cream. Take her out for, a favorite lunch. Go to a park. Go to an adventurous place. Take a little trip, a little weekend getaway. And give your inner child that time and attention. Okay, let's take a look at the special message card for the Azurite Malachite people. Azurite Malachite people. Special message. Nothing's jumping out yet, so I'm going to close my eyes for another minute. Azurite Malachite people. Okay, this one. And this one, okay, you guys, sexual arts. Okay, we got, and not all of these cards, well, obviously the inner child wasn't, but we got sexual arts here, and we've got a human with what looks like some sort of angelic figure intertwined in this passionate embrace. So I feel like, again, this is sacral chakra energy. It's that, Venus energy. We even have some fire looking energy down here. But again, it's about getting into that creative self-expression, the goddess energy, the passion energy, the sensuality of who you are. So this is like, let's put on some belly dancing music. Let's do some, easy guiding yoga movements, something that got that kind of sensual flowing sort of energy to it. It doesn't have to mean that it's about sex or sexuality, right? But this is about kind of embodying the divine feminine. That's a great way to say it, right? The sacral chakra is embodying the divine feminine and your inner passion and your inner emotional energy and your inner creative self-expression and sensuality. And again, that's going to be very magnetic. That's very Scorpio in a way, right? Scorpio is a very magnetic sign. And that second half of the month with Mercury in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, Sun in Scorpio, it's a real magnetic energy which can draw things to us, blessings, prosperity, abundance, new people, new circumstances. So this card is saying to use that energy in such a way to be magnetic and to attract what it is that you desire into your life. So I hope you all have enjoyed this October monthly video, sending you all so much love and light and empowerment to take back your power in this month of October, and get ready for whatever endings and new beginnings are coming in, and look at it with glass half full, positive mentality rather than glass half empty. All right, sending you all lots of love, everyone. Namaste.